Hey everyone, in today's video we are going to make one of my favorite breakfast meals, coffee cake, using nothing but a solar oven. Welcome back to the channel, thanks for tuning in, and today I have such an awesome video because not only are we going to review one of my favorite pieces of our camping gear collection, but we're also going to make a meal with it as well. So before we dive into any of the crazy details or even get cooking, I really want to go over the equipment we're going to be using today, namely this Gosun Sport. So Gosun started a couple of years ago, and I became familiar with the brand through one of my friend's channels, The Fusion Home. Gosun is a company that uses evacuated solar tubes to create solar ovens. They couple the tube with a parabolic reflector to catch as much sunlight as possible, getting these ovens up to over 500 degrees. Gosun has 3 different models of their solar oven. The one that I have is the Gosun Sport. It's kind of like their mid-range model. They also have a smaller model which is perfect for backpacking called the Gosun Go, and a larger Gosun called the Gosun Fusion. So here's a closer look at the Gosun Sport. You'll have to forgive me, mine's actually a bit dirty because I've used it so many times in the years that I've had it. It's an incredible little device which is super simple to operate. Right, so the Gosun Sport is really only comprised of 2 different parts. The first part, we have this parabolic reflector, 2-footed stand with your evacuated tube in the middle, and the second part is your food loading tray. This slides right out of the tube and has a half circle cut into it, so you can load in whatever you're cooking. Once it's all loaded up, you just slide it back in the tube. Now that you have your Gosun loaded up with all of the food you want to cook, you want to ensure that you place it at the best angle. The best way to do this is to stand with your back towards the sun and the Gosun directly in front of you. What you're looking for is that dark purple black reflection of the solar collector in the reflector. This ensures that you're collecting as much of the sun as possible to really get it up to temperature to be able to cook, bake, fry, whatever you're trying to do with that specific meal. But let's say you're not actually cooking any food and all you really need to do is heat up some water. Well, Gosun has you covered. This is the Gosun Brew attachment. It's an accessory that's made by Gosun and it holds 14 ounces of water. It's got a rubber silicone lid and you just fill it up and slide it in to where the food tray usually goes. So in order to use the Gosun Brew with the Gosun Sport, the best way to do it is to turn the actual Gosun on its side. From there you can fill up your Gosun Brew and just simply slide it in the top like that. After a while it'll heat up, you'll have boiling water and you'll be ready to go. So we're not just going to boil water today, I really do want to show you the power behind one of these Gosuns. And we're going to be preparing one of my favorite breakfast meals, coffee cake. Now, I could have gone and bought all of the raw ingredients, but for the purpose of this video, I really just want to demonstrate how well it works. So I bought a little box of coffee cake mix. We'll mix it all together, load it up into the Gosun, and see what happens. Got my tube all nice and filled with my coffee cake batter, and I am now going to take the Gosun, put it out on the balcony, aim it towards the sun, and just let it do its thing. Okay, so we have the Gosun set up here, and I angled it just right so that the sun is hitting it with as much solar energy as possible. The food tube is already inside, so it's actually starting to warm up already. We're just going to let it hang out, do its thing. We'll check on it periodically to see how everything's going and to tell when it's done, but I'm super excited because it smells so good already. Okay, while our first batch of coffee cake is in the Gosun cooking, I want to use the leftover batter that I have to fill up some of these tiny little silicone cups. I got them online and they were pretty cheap. I got a whole stack of them too, maybe $5 or $10, but they fit perfectly into the Gosun Sports little tray. I'm going to use the rest of the batter that I have to fill up a couple of these to see how they cook as well once the original batch is done. Couple of things to note. The first thing is that the wind has definitely picked up outside, so the air is colder, but the Gosun is not affected by the wind because there's no actual air movement in the evacuated tube. The second thing is that even though it is definitely hot enough to be cooking on the inside, you could still touch the glass on the outside. It's the evacuated insulation that is letting us touch the outside of this tube without being burned, while the inside part gets up to those baking temperatures. So the Gosun was out on the balcony for exactly 35 minutes, and I believe the coffee cake is done, so we are going to take a look inside and see what it looks like. Oh. This definitely looks really, really good. Definitely not like the usual coffee cake that I have, but I really think that this turned out well. Alright, well, I have a plate of coffee cake logs, I guess you could say. But we're going to give it a shot to see how it tastes. Oh, it's hot! It's definitely hot. It's definitely really, really good. I mean, it tastes exactly like normal coffee cake, and it's super cool because all we did was mix all of the ingredients together, put the stove out in the sun for a little over half an hour, and now we have a full plate of coffee cake. I'm gonna try to not eat the whole thing because this is really good. Here you can see those little silicone dishes in the actual Gosun tube. So they fit super tight. They're just the right height to be in the tube as well. And so I only had enough batter left over to make 2 of these, but we're gonna pop them in the Gosun and see how they turn out. So round 2, we are making coffee cake again in the Gosun, this time using those little silicone dishes. And I wanted to bring up a couple of things while we're waiting for these to cook. The first thing is that the Gosun may seem really hard to clean, but it actually comes with a little brush attachment that attaches to the food tray. And so whenever you're done, you can pull everything apart, put some warm water and soap inside, and use that brush attachment to clean the inside of the Gosun. And the second thing is that the Gosun can typically heat up a little bit more on this side rather than the side with the opening. So if that's going to be an issue, you may want to plan accordingly whenever you're trying to bake or cook, however you want to prepare your meal. I just pulled the coffee cake out of the Gosun for the second time. This time we cooked it in those silicone dishes. And honestly, I think it turned out even better than our first try. This was such a simple recipe to put together. I mean, anything out of a box is definitely easy. But being able to take a couple of ingredients, put them into a solar stove, let it do its thing, and have something delicious come out at the end is just so okay with me. Alright, well that's it for now. I really appreciate you watching this video. Let me know if you have a Gosun, or if you've made any really cool recipes with it. I'm always looking to learn how to cook more meals with the Gosun. Until next time, we'll see you soon.